I've always written down things I find funny. I don't know why that is. I think I've just always had a need to, if something happens that's funny, I write it down. My best friend and I in school used to be, oh, do you remember that time? And then we'd jot them down so we still have them, things that we found funny in school. So I think it was that. And then another good friend of mine, who's now a comedian, Ellis James, he and I were best friends. We've been best mates since school, and we used to write together in sixth form. Nothing much, just in Wales you have to do Eisteddfod. So it was pretty bad comedy, but it kind of got the ball rolling for this is normal. Collaborating with my friends is a normal thing to do. Ellis had started doing stand-up, so he was meeting other stand-up comedians. So I got involved, I met a lot of stand-up comedians, and we all took a sketch show to Edinburgh called Super Club. And there was 9 of us, which is a hell of a lot of people for a sketch show, a live sketch show. And it was brilliant. It had Mike Wozniak in, it had Henry Packer, Josh Widdicombe, Tom Crane, Ben Partridge, Nat Nutsima, Henry Widdicombe, and they've all kind of gone on to be really, really good in comedy. It was a brilliant way of meeting people. And I think producers came to see it. And then they said, do you want to come in and do you want to write? You can write. Do you want to come in and write on these shows? And Newsjack is the one that they have for new writers. Yeah, I think radio is a really good place to start because it's cheap to make. Yeah, it's really cheap to make, and also they do hold a lot of shows where you can go in and you've never had any experience before. You can submit stuff remotely, or you can actually go in for the day and write with a group of people. Just, again, gag writing and also people you know. So, for example, I'd written with Lloyd Langford before. I write with Rod Gilbert. He's also my husband. So we'd written together in the past on a sitcom pilot for Radio 2, which we also wrote with Greg, which is how I know Greg. It's all people you meet, and if you click with them and if you can write with them. So, yeah. I think, this is what I said earlier, and I'm not sure, I don't know what I'm talking about, but I think it's comedy that has feeling in it, that has more feeling in it, that you actually, that's how I would sum it up. So somebody said that comedy drama used to be seen as comedy but with less jokes, whereas I think it's comedy with more feeling. So there's more going on. You care about those characters more, I think. Like, they have the ability to make you cry. And I think that's quite powerful, as well as make you fall over laughing, I think Orange is the New Black was incredible, and that was a game changer for me. Just because I think it tells female stories, and that's incredibly rare. It's getting more and more popular, which is fantastic. But to me, that ability to be inside a jail, to be in such a bleak situation, where real female stories are being told, and the fact that it can still make me laugh, those characters, I think that's fantastic. That was the one that I went, right, you can do this. It doesn't have to be silly all the time. You can be really, really, really dark with it. I can tell you, 3 favourites that I've had recently have been Fleabag, which I thought was incredible. Again, that kind of a woman not being perfect and a woman not being in a position where she's telling the man, oh, stop messing around. That traditionally, you see that so often. It's the man is being funny and the woman is telling them to stop it. So to have the female protagonist being the one who is getting into trouble, it's just so refreshing and real. So that was a big one for me. I think Catastrophe is brilliant. Just in how natural it is and how funny, but they're not. I don't know how Sharon Hogan does it. I think she's fantastic. And let's think, probably an old school one or something. Bottom, because it changed my life. It totally changed my life when I was 13, and I think having worked with Rick Mayall as well. He was just, that was such a game changer for me when I was 13, to go, that's so funny. It's slapstick and it's puerile, it's swearing and, ridiculous accidents. but there's a depth to it